If you are a woman or a minority, be careful where you bank. As a business owner, I have had my business account with M&T Bank for almost 2 years now. And the other day I tried to use my card to purchase something and it kept declining. And I was like, I know I have money in my account. My business account has never been on zero. So I use my other card from my personal account and it goes through because I'm thinking something wrong with the machine at the store. But no, it was my card. So I called the bank when I got in the car, only to find out that my card had been shut down. And my card was shut down because apparently they sent me a letter on July the 17th, let me know that they are no longer doing business with me and that they wanted to terminate the banking relationship. So I'm like, well, tell me why. They told me they didn't have to give me any explanation and that the bank periodically goes through their accounts and determines who they want to continue banking with. And it's a set of criteria that they don't have to disclose. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a mental health therapist. So I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my license. I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my practice or my bank account. So there has not been any fraudulent or red flag behavior on my account to say that it needs to be canceled or shut down. So I had never heard of this before. I was in complete shock and I was frustrated. I was just like, what is going on? Because I already have dystopian fatigue. Now I'm going to coin that phrase, dystopian fatigue, with everything that's going on in the world, with the person that's in office and the craziness that just happens every single day. I feel like we're living in the times of dystopian, and with it just coming every day, it fatigues you. And just also seeing how people just in general are acting, how children are not well, mentally, emotionally, and physically. It's a lot of changes in children that are scary and disheartening. And it also makes me wonder what life is going to look like for them 20 years from now. But anyway, so I was just flabbergasted. My flabbers were gasted, to say the least. So I'm like, someone needs to explain to me what's going on. So they say to me that something about my relationship with the bank. And I said, well, what was I supposed to go into the office and fraternize with the tellers? Like, what are you talking about my relationship with the bank? But I didn't know that this was a thing. I thought, like, I had never heard anyone mention this before. I have friends that are business owners. I had just never heard this before. So, of course, I go to the TikTok library. And if you Google closed bank accounts or bank suddenly closes your account, there are a lot of stories about this. I had no clue. But the commonality that I noticed was that it was women accounts that were being closed, all within the last year. So I'm like, not saying that some men accounts haven't been closed, but the majority of the videos that I've seen have been women. White women, minority women, black women, women. And so when I think about the person who's in office and the agenda that has been pushed, and has been pushed and trying to be pushed, is reversing the hands of time and making sure that women can't have bank accounts, because there was a time when we couldn't, when we had to ask for a man's permission to have a bank account. They are trying to get us back to that place. And who are they targeting? Women who have businesses. Because, of course, if we couldn't have bank accounts, we damn sure couldn't have a business. And women who have small businesses, because my practice is an independent solo practice at this time. So that was just crazy. Do research on who owns your bank. Again, mine was M&T, which I think Mercantile and Trust is what it stands for. And it's based in Baltimore, Maryland. But I'm sure they have vendors all over the place. I'm sure people may have accounts with them outside of Maryland. I don't know. But to me, they're a small bank, in my opinion. They're not like a Bank of America. They're not a Wells Fargo. They're not a Truist. So that's why I went with them, because I just figured, let me give them the business. But no, bank with the big banks. Now, I will not bank with Bank of America, ever. They have a lot of miscellaneous fees that don't make sense to me. And I learned that back in 2000. When I opened my first account, it was Bank of America. And when I tell you they nickel and dime me as a college student who didn't have a lot of money, when I found out you had to pay $10 to go in, was it $4? It was either $4 or $10 to see the teller. If the teller serviced you at the bank, they charged you for that with a straight face. And so I said, I'll never do Bank of America again. But my personal account is with Wells Fargo. So what did I do? I was frantic. I had to get all of my incoming paying vendors. I had to switch all of that money to my personal account, because they were telling me that my account would be closed completely on August the 18th, which is tomorrow. I didn't find this out until August the 14th. So I'm wrestling, trying to hurry up and get my incoming payees switched over, which is Medicaid and insurance companies. Like, it's crazy what I had to do. And I switched it to my personal account because I didn't know how much time it would take me to open up another business account. So I said, well, let me just do that first, and I can always switch it from my personal to my new business account. After I did all of that, I could woosah for a minute, but I'm still like, I need a business account. I do not want to commingle my funds. I just don't. And so later on that night, I went online and I applied for, excuse me, a business account with Wells Fargo. It was approved in seconds. You know, it was opened within seconds because I've been a personal customer of theirs for years. So I'm considered low risk. But after I put my money in, I just felt like a little vulnerable. Like, will I get a letter from them that basically will not give me any reason as to why my account was canceled or closed? Do I need to keep my money under a mattress? Do I need to get all of my money sent to me by hard check now and just cash it however? I mean, I just was wondering, what should I do to prevent this from happening again? But I spoke to the tellers and I was like, listen, does Wells Fargo have, do y'all do this to y'all customers? And they were like, no. Like, they looked at me like they had never heard of such a thing. So I said, well, let me make a video in case other people are getting this letter just saying out the blue that they're canceling and closing your card and your account with no reason. Be careful, do research. And Wells Fargo doesn't have the best reputation, I know that, but I have not had this problem, and I hopefully will not have this problem. But M&T is definitely on the shit list, and I heard the same thing happens at Bank of America. So just do your research on who you're banking with and ask the right questions, because I think it's all a part of the plan to reverse women back to submission.